Welcome to the Mycitizenagency channel. Obtaining citizenship or another legal status abroad is not just a collection of documents. It is a step-by-step legal process in which the details are important. Choosing the right legal basis, preparing a correct dossier, and following the deadlines, legal requirements, and application procedures. At first sight, it may seem that all you need to do is find a list of documents, fill out a form, and submit an application. But in practice, every country sets its own rules, what documents are required, how they must be presented, whether a translation, notarization, or apostille is needed, and whether you must appear in person or make an appointment with a government agency. This is precisely why many applicants turn to an immigration company. Its role is not just to provide consultation, but to guide the client through the entire process, from the initial analysis of the situation to the receipt of documents. In this video, we will take a step-by-step look at how working with Mycitizenagency works. The process begins with a personal consultation. At this step, the specialist looks at the client's situation and clarifies their goals, plans, and preferences. The client explains why they need a new status: to relocate, work, run a business, educate their children, travel freely, reunite with family, or live long-term in their chosen country. It is also important to understand whether the client plans to apply alone or together with a spouse, children, or parents. The lawyer analyzes the client's background, citizenship, family status, origin, education, work experience, business ownership, financial resources, existing documents, and potential grounds for obtaining residency status. Afterward, the specialist explains which immigration programs may be suitable for the specific situation. For one client, the best option might be obtaining citizenship by descent. For another, a residence permit through employment, study, business activities, investment, or family grounds. The main goal of the first step is not just to tell you about the general options, but to find a legal and realistic path. A good specialist doesn't make universal promises, but evaluates your documents, legal requirements, and the case's prospects. Following the consultation, the client gains an understanding of what options are available to them, what documents will be required, how many steps will need to be taken, and what timelines to expect. The initial consultation helps prevent a lot of confusion. Clients don't have to randomly collect documents or waste time on an option that may not meet the country's requirements. At this stage, it is important to be honest with the specialist about your situation. Have there been any rejections? Do you have a criminal record? Have you changed your last name? Have you been married or divorced? Do you have minor children? And which documents are lost or need to be replaced? The more precise the initial information, the more appropriate the chosen path will be. After choosing the appropriate program, the process of preparing the documents begins. This is one of the most important stages because the further consideration of the case largely depends on the quality of the application. A personal lawyer will prepare a list of documents required for the specific procedure. Depending on the chosen program, these may include passports, birth, marriage, or divorce certificates, criminal background checks, educational records, employment contracts, proof of income, documents of origin, archival records, business documents, photographs, questionnaires, and applications. The specialist checks not only the availability of documents, but also their contents. It is important that the information matches across all certificates and records: first names, last names, dates of birth, places of birth, marital status, and other details. Even a minor discrepancy can raise additional questions from government authorities. If any documents are missing, the lawyer explains how they will be requested or obtained. Sometimes it is necessary to request duplicates, restore archival records, obtain additional certificates, or prepare supporting documents. At this stage, translations, notarization, apostille, or other forms of legalization are also arranged if required by the laws of the chosen country. Documents must be prepared in the format accepted by the authorized authority. Many applicants underestimate this step. It may seem that since they already have the documents and they can submit their application right now. However, in the immigration process, it's not just about the availability of the document, but its legal validity. A document may be expired, in the wrong format, contain errors, or require translation or certification. Sometimes it is necessary to confirm a name change, restore old records, or explain discrepancies between documents. Therefore, the legal preparation of a case file is not a formality, but a comprehensive process of working with the client's evidence. When the documents have been collected, reviewed, and prepared in accordance with the requirements, the process of filing the immigration application begins. A lawyer prepares the application, questionnaires, supporting forms, and organizes the document package. It is important that all information in the application matches the documents and does not conflict with each other. Errors in the questionnaires, imprecise phrasing, or an incomplete document package can lead to a delay in processing or the case being returned for revision. Depending on the country and procedure, the application may be submitted in person through a consulate, an immigration authority, a municipal agency, an electronic system, or through a representative acting under a power of attorney. If permitted by law, the company's specialist schedules an appointment with the relevant authorities and submits the application on behalf of the client. If the client's personal presence is required, a lawyer helps prepare for the visit, explaining which documents to bring, how the appointment proceeds, what questions may be asked, and what actions need to be taken on site. After submission, the client receives a confirmation, a case registration number, or another document allowing them to track the further processing of the application. Support with the application process helps reduce the risk of procedural errors. Specialists verify that the application package is complete, that copies and originals are properly formatted, that translations are accurate, that receipts for fee payments are included, and that the submission process is followed correctly. The client knows in advance what to expect during the appointment and what actions are required of them. This is especially important if the procedure takes place in another country or in a foreign language. After submission, the case review process begins. The timeline depends on the country, the type of procedure, the workload of government authorities, and the specific details of the application. At this stage, a personal specialist tracks the progress of the review, keeps the client informed of any changes, and assists in responding to requests from government authorities. A government authority may request additional documents, clarifications, updated certificates, or the applicant's personal appearance. The lawyer's task is to respond to such requests in a timely manner and prepare an appropriate response. This helps avoid delays and reduces the risk that the case will be suspended due to insufficient information. When a positive decision is issued in the case, the client moves on to the stage of entering a new status. Depending on the procedure, this may involve participating in an official ceremony, signing documents, taking an oath, registering the decision, submitting biometric data, or receiving confirmation from the government agency. The company coordinates the next steps, schedules an appointment for the client, explains the procedure, and helps prepare the documents needed to complete the stage. The waiting period does not mean that the process has come to a halt. During this time, it is important to keep an eye on notifications, deadlines, and any requests from the authorities. If a client misses a letter, does not provide a document on time, or responds incorrectly, the review process may be delayed. Therefore, follow-up after submission is just as important as preparing the documents before submission. The immigration company keeps in touch with the client and ensures that each next step is completed on time. After official approval and completion of the official procedure, the client can obtain documents confirming their new status. Depending on the country and the basis for the application, these may include a national ID card, passport, resident card, certificate of citizenship, proof of residence, tax ID number, civil status documents, or other forms of verification. The lawyer explains which documents need to be obtained first, what deadlines must be met, and what steps to take after the main decision is issued. If we are talking about citizenship, the client can apply for an internal document, a foreign passport, and if necessary, update the information in civil status records. At this stage, legal support helps the client navigate practical matters after approval and make proper use of the status obtained. In some cases, our work with the client continues even after the main documents have been obtained. The client may need assistance with applying for residency status for family members, renewing documents, registering an address, or resolving related legal issues. Specialists can also explain the rights and responsibilities that arise after obtaining status, whether you can work, study, run a business, relocate with your family, access medical or social services, how long you can stay outside the country, and what deadlines are important to meet. Immigration procedures require precision and knowledge of current legislation. Errors in documents, choosing the wrong basis for the application, an incomplete application package, incorrect translations, or missed deadlines can lead to delays or rejection. Professional guidance helps make the process clearer and more streamlined. The client knows what steps to expect, what documents are required, who is responsible for preparing the application, when it will be submitted, and what to do after receiving a decision. Mycitizenagency works transparently. We explain the terms of our partnership, sign a contract, provide a clear action plan, do not make unrealistic promises, and operate within the law. Working with the immigration company Mycitizenagency involves 5 main steps. First, the client receives a personalized consultation and, together with a specialist, selects the appropriate program. Next, lawyers prepare the documents and form a dossier. After that, the company assists with the submission of the immigration application. Next, specialists monitor the case review and assist with the approval stage and entry into the new status. The final step is to prepare the documents confirming the result. This approach helps clients navigate the immigration process calmly, systematically, and in a legally sound manner. If you're just planning to immigrate to the EU and want to understand whether you have a realistic basis for applying for citizenship, submit a request for a free consultation via the link in the description. We will review your situation, create a personalized immigration plan for you, and prepare a complete set of documents to successfully obtain citizenship in one of the EU countries. We work on a one-on-one basis, taking into account your goals, your lifestyle, and your specific circumstances. Thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in this topic, subscribe to our channel and feel free to ask questions in the comments. We'll regularly publish program reviews, answer frequently asked questions, and share important news about immigration law and life in the EU. Your journey to Europe begins with the first step. Mycitizenagency is here for you, every step of the way.